What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, brought to you by. Oh, I was about to back up, Miles. Thehumidor.com, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Thehumidor.com is the go-to website for all things that you want tobacco related. Obviously, your cigars, your humidors, humidipacks, torches, cutters, anything that you want. And if you go in there, check out, you type in Sports Den, you get 20% off. You get 20% off of that. And then if you order over $150, I believe, you get free shipping in the continental United States. So inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. We got to do a live show. We just got to get all the equipment for it, though, Miles. So you got to let me know what all we need to make sure we can record it. Would love to do that. But yeah, Goodfellas, we got membership drive that we're pushing. We're accepting new members. You got to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to be able to get in. We if you're not buying cigars from thehumidor.com, buy them from Goodfellas. It's like Cheers with a mob twist. It's like where everybody knows your name. And I love it. And this is where I come kick it at. We get to our other sponsors today. Like right now, my energy level is a little bit low. Friday, I gotta go make sure I get my appointment with Alpha Male Jacks to make sure I get my figure out what's going on, come up with my game plan. Because again, the goal is to end 2022 as a badass, in 2022 the best possible way, and enter 23 as a badass with the energy of a 23-year-old. So we want to be able to do all the different things that we used to do, looking good, feeling good, and fucking good throughout the rest of the year. But give the gift of yourself to yourself and to those who are part of you. So that, and then I also got to do some other things, just housekeeping things. I'm trying to remind myself that I got to do. Got to do a concealed carry class. So, but that's something that's important. But we'll get into all those different things going on. But incredible weekend coming up. Excuse me for me, because I got a bye week. But it is people tell me not to do it, but I still do it because it's the truth. He might not, because things can change. It's just like rankings. People go up and down in the rankings all the time. But currently, my favorite child, his birthday will turn 4 on Sunday. Sunday. So I have to watch the game, but my Saturday is going to be packed. I have my namesake. He has his football game, even though I don't have to watch any. I still have to kind of watch football games. But every year since Trey has been born, his godfather, Toby Book, who's the head coach of Mandarin, was brought around for the specific reason, and was made his godfather for a very specific reason. It's his job to make sure we do that Hallmark Channel white people shit. I used to watch growing up, like shows like, it wasn't just Hallmark Channel, but in my neighborhood, I didn't really get around a lot of white people until I went to high school. And that's when I really encountered it. Like I would see them in the airport when we fly. I would see them out, but none of them encountered people from my neighborhood. When they came in my neighborhood, it was generally nothing really great came of it. Like not for the people who encountered them. But I watched a lot of TV. And I watched Hallmark Channel. Then there was this show that used to come on Nickelodeon called Pete and Pete.
I remember Pete.
And yeah, and it was like a lot of the stuff was like in the Midwest. The Midwest was like this magical place. Now my father lives in the Midwest, but his Midwest was different. I didn't really go there that often. I only went there twice in my entire life. But pumpkin carving parties, the stuff that we've had. I never knew I would like it as much as I do, but like I really like carving pumpkins. I don't even think we went to pumpkin patches when I was growing up. But we got pumpkins. We're gonna carve it out, do that, and then from there we go straight to Kai's birthday party. And then I think I'm off the hook for fatherly duties after that. But shout out to, it's his birthday. Also today is the birthday of Trey's football coach. Shout out to Coach Al. Good guy, good man, good father, amazing father. Love shouting out good black dads. And there's a bunch of other people. Other people. Guy I went to. I actually know well. Ramon Alexander. It's his birthday. Can I ask a question? Just because we're going to talk about people who you can and can't offend, and a lot of it has to deal with one of my favorite people who I will not ever not like him because of the body of work. I cannot like how he's the path he's going, but I'm never gonna like. I promise you, I'm not getting rid of the dozens of shoes that I have of him. Nor will I ever like. I will play "Never Let Me Down" probably on repeat today because it's one of my favorite Kanye songs. But he raised some valid points. But why with one of the bigger black Democrats, I can't even remember his name. He ran for governor um against Ron DeSantis, and then Ramon Alexander recently had to resign because like what? Okay, people cheat all the time, right? Cheating happens every day. Apparently, clearly, both are still with their wives, so clearly their wives are okay with the fact that they're pitchers and catchers. But why does that have to disqualify you from like being running for political office? Didn't you get into this for a whole different reason? But it's Ramon's birthday. I find it odd that he just disappeared from the face of the planet because the man's gay. Like you keep like was it Pete Buttigieg or whatever? He's a damn good politician, really good. He just happens to be a bone smuggler. It's all good. Like you don't like that doesn't. It's not a disability. Like being gay is like, I mean, and again, if I want to criticize you for cheating, then we have to like criticize every fucking politician because we already know like Rafael Cruz got to be cheating on his wife. His wife ugly as sin. He's ugly too, but women, y'all give ugly men that have a little bit of power more benefit of the doubt. I mean, we could all agree that Ted Cruz's wife is hideous, right? Trump said that too, so it's presidential. But anyways, those are just some of the themes that we're going to go through. But politicians that I always like watching politicians from afar, and I like to see things that they do if they were like me. And Mayor Curry, I shared this first one, and I was like, this is me at the tailgate, like because we always have, it's all you can eat, all you can drink, all you can smoke. The smokes that I provide are from not Green Acre Sporting Goods. You can get Green Acre Sporting Goods smoke too, but the smoke that I provide from thehumidor.com is clearly legal. You don't have to have a license for it. But New York, it's legal to smoke weed. And our mayor, Lenny Curry, he responded to mine. I'm like, I wanted to say, hey, Mayor Curry, can we go and get that thing legalized around here, Because when I smell the good smoke at my tailgates, then I'm just like, I'm already happy about it. But this mayor is proud of the legislation that he put forward. You got that the video? He's very proud of the legislation that he put forth. And man, I'm gonna be frank with you. This man wanted to describe the strain. I already know. Like he knew what was being smoked.
One thing for sure, one law that was passed is clearly being practiced right now because I smell some weed. Someone is smoking. Someone is smoking.
That's that. Yeah, that's that good. All right, man. That ain't no shake he's smoking. That ain't no Reggie, man.
One thing for sure, one law that was passed is clearly.
You gotta appreciate good smoking these days, man. Life is too short to not appreciate good weed. Legally. Now again, don't go being like Kashara Richardson, guys. I'm telling you. If you know you can't smoke weed on your job, don't smoke weed on your job. One of my best friends, I'm his son's guy. Actually, oh shit. Hold on. Speaking of that, hold on, man. Let me do this right now so y'all can yeah, I forgot all about that. Anyways, one of my good friends, again, you can use social media for the right things, but Hey, hold on. I was just talking about you on the show. I had to stop because if I don't do this right now, I ain't gonna remember. Hey, Killer having a birthday party this weekend on Saturday. I don't know what y'all got going, but
What time?
it's a great question. I know it's in the afternoon. I know it's in the evening. It's in the evening. I know that.
Okay, cause yeah, he got a 10:30 game and a 1:30 game, but after that,
Yeah, it's like 5. It's like shit. Because Trey game is at 3. It ends at 3. Then we got the white people shit with pumpkin carving. So it's probably like 6 or 7. I'll text you anyway. I just wanted to let you know. Just be on the lookout. If I don't send you nothing, then yell at me. But I was just letting you know you got a birthday party. So
Saturday evening. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
all right, bro. Yep. So, anyways, that's my. But y'all invited too if y'all want to come. But that was my guy Reggie, and Reggie literally actually taught me everything about medicinal weed that I know. But Reggie's also now a truck driver, so Reggie had to like they piss test him very frequently. So Reggie hasn't smoked weed in quite some time, but he's smoking cigars now. So it's funny, like he educated me on all this shit, and now I had to go back and educate my dog on all this shit. And then like it's just the circle of life, like things brown. But like so that's why I have no sympathy for the Shakara Richardsons of the world, because you clearly know that that's a banned substance. I think it's stupid, but I don't make those rules. So, anyways, so going into this thing, and we were just congratulating guys like my guy Al, LeBron James. I don't care where you rate LeBron James on the list of all-time greats. He is one of the best. In a few years, our children will argue with people about why LeBron James is clearly the GOAT. I don't care what you say about him personally right now. And I get it. We were all marketed to like Michael Jordan. Again, it was the first person that everybody actually made. Like they used movies. They had a movie script. Like he changed the way the commercials were made, Michael Jordan. You know, remember the song? Like Mike, like to be like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. You were drinking that nasty ass orange Gatorade that nobody liked. We wear his shoes because Spike Lee was the hottest movie. Like Nike did, it was strategic. Don't get me wrong, and it was fly. They still fly, still fresh to the day. I can't tell you how many pairs of LeBrons I own. I'll probably get to. I'm gonna get the FAMU LeBrons. Shout out to my FAMU dunks. They're on the way. So close. Can't wait to get them. As soon as I get them, I might bring. If them bitches come in Thursday or Friday, Thursday, I don't actually. They probably won't be here Thursday. Whenever them bitches come in, trust and believe. If I got a show, I'm gonna open them bitches up live on the show just so y'all FAMU alumni can be upset. But anyways, LeBron has inked, and with the name, image, and likeness era coming about, what better way to pass on generational wealth than by putting your own kids on, putting people on who are in your circle? And LeBron has just done that with Beats by Dre. And what's funny is LeBron was the first athlete to be able to do this with Beats by Dre. And 14 years later, he makes his son the first NIL deal. Now, what he's able to do for his kids off the field are great. I'm trying to find this commercial because the commercial is kind of dope. And I don't even necessarily like Beats by Dre anymore. I don't really have a damn, I know it's here it is. I'm gonna send it to you, Miles. There we go. But it's just indicative of everything that he's done. Like everything that I'm doing. Yeah, that one. Everything that I'm doing is about setting up for my kids. Doesn't mean they have to walk in the same path as I do. Actually, in some ways, I don't want them to have the same goals or desires that I want. But if they do, your job is to make it easier for them. Yes, it's called nepotism. Nepotism happens in every aspect. Hell, I coached with nepotism. There's no reason Jeff Bowden got the offensive coordinator job at Florida State. Besides, he was Coach Bowden, the greatest coach of all time, son. What's the point of working your ass off and you can't put your family on? But I want to let's go ahead and let's play this, and this is just kind of dope. in my opinion. He's still gonna pretend like he got a hairline and waves. I love that about it. Don't give up. So we just got we got a music thing going on. Oh.
Don't give a fuck about them. No, we not living like them. Flex like I'm at a gym. I'm in feeling like him. Yeah.
Ooh, I've been waiting for this. Main event right here now. Check ball.
Yeah. Come through popping up. Hell yeah.
What you want?
Over that way,
That's all you-
don't catch me there.
This is awesome. What you, for those who are like on SoundCloud wondering what's going on, you're watching basically LeBron James and Bronny James playing one-on-one basketball against each
I
other.
want to know sushi or tacos.
While they're both listening to
Sushi?
beats without the wireless
Say
Beats
sushi.
headsets.
I'll take
So
tacos.
it's just that's cool enough, but it's just that's true legacy, man. That's for a group that consistently has said that we don't belong or we don't do anything for our kids. It's so many guys who are consistently kicking ass, and I think that's what you should. It's why when I see people like bash LeBron for things that they don't necessarily agree with, which is fine. You don't have to agree with everybody on everything, and that's where later on in the show, like I don't understand where adults lost the ability to differentiate and give props where things are necessary. LeBron is an incredible athlete, incredible, an even better businessman, which typically you don't see guys be able to do both of those very well. But bigger than all of those things, he's a better father. And it's a reason why he's the first billionaire athlete. And while when it's all said and done, he will be way more transcendent than anybody that we've ever seen. Something that I've been noticing, you know, especially when people talk about the African American fathers, I'm getting better with these transitions. You guys going, if you go back and you watch, you'll see the growth. But people talk about black fatherlessness, and it's always, especially in this political cycle, even which is ironic. Herschel Walker was running on that, and he's probably the culprit of 70% of all black fatherlessness. But because he got kids everywhere, but people take statistics that are brought up and they use them out of context. And what I mean by that is like when they say African Americans kill, like they don't use the same data that basically says African Americans kill other African Americans. They don't look at Brian bought an NFT, man. That's cool, Chris. See again, another reason for us to love LeBron. Like the same data basically says that crime is about proximity. So white people kill white people, Spanish people kill Spanish people, black people kill black people. It's just basically where you're at. But statistics consistently state that African American fathers are really, really good, or just as good as any other, actually more active than others. People still not understanding the Alabama State thing. See what Deion's doing is nothing new. You know who Deion Sanders is being right now? Steve Spurrier. When Steve Spurrier, they said they can't hear me. When Steve Spurrier came, make sure we're good. I'm good. When Steve Spurrier came into the SEC, he came in talking a lot of shit. And basically, a lot of people were like, he ain't SEC. Like, a lot of times we see, oh, this is why black people can't win, never fought. Like, everybody fights. We're the only ones who believe that you can only do one thing at a time. You can only support one person at a time. And you can't, and if you have disagreements with how somebody's doing something, that you must hate them. Like, we're the only dumbass motherfuckers that do that kind of shit. But I say all of these things to say is that I brought up Deion. If you haven't seen Deion Sanders' 60-minute interview, please go and watch it. It's very, very good. It's also saying everything that I've said Deion Sanders is going to do in the beginning. In particular, this short part of it says, if he gets a Power 5 job, I have to entertain it. I'd be a fool to not entertain it. And I'll get back into that, but I want to show this right here. So the same weekend that Deion Sanders and an Alabama State coach overshadowed a lot of good that happened, something else really, really bad happened in college football, in HBCU swag football, that will probably hurt and alter some of these teams. Now, these fines hurt, and the reason why I know these fines hurt, because these numbers are basically what I was able to raise last week for Bethune-Cookman to be able to go in and make sure that they can afford some meals so that they can play this game. And here's why I say a lot of times, like, this is common. The SWAC announced 1-game suspension for players and fines for the October 8th pregame brawl between Southern University and Prairie View A&M. Fights happen. I didn't know you got fined for it, because I remember, being in some. I'm not going to say if I was or was not involved in some of the fights that happened during my career that Florida State was in. But again, it's what happens when disrespect happens. This is not new. This is not. You can go play the video, Miles. This doesn't make these players bad. This shit happens on every level. Like, every school, white, black, deaf and blind, Native American. I even found out that they're playing football in Japan. I guarantee they have that. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. There's fights that will happen. Now, here's what sucks. Southern will have 11 players suspended for their next game, and Prairie View will have 10 players suspended for the next game. That is a significant portion of their roster. So you got these guys coming out, and then something said. And what's crazy is in terms of fights, this was pretty tame. A lot of words exchanged. You know how this happens? Going in places that you have no fucking business being in. I.e., people who keep saying, well, did you hear how they talked about Deion Sanders? And blah, blah, blah. Bitch, he was not where he was fucking supposed to be at. I don't know who was wrong, the Prairie View or the Southern players, but you're not supposed to be able to meet guys like that. This should not happen. HBCUs, you got an issue. You gotta change that. That should not happen. Like, it's ropes and all kinds of things all over the place at the FSU game. Don't know why it's not at HBCU games, but $7,500 and $10,000 is a lot of money to these kind of programs. Hopefully, one of you, I'm so proud that I went to an HBCU school, will step up and help these programs by writing that check. It is so wild to me, though, the amount, how much money. And it's still a significant amount of money, because if somebody walks in right now and gives me $3,000, I'll be grateful. Forever grateful. But when I'm thinking of a large program and how big of a business college sports is, like, to know that it's a struggle for them to get these kind of numbers, and this is a business, it still miffs me when I see how many people are so proud of their HBCUs, and they talk so bad. I'm not here to downtrodden. I don't want to sound like I don't know what's the word to say. I want to encourage. I'm really trying to more so encourage you and light a fire under you, because if the shit doesn't change and all you are is proud, it's not going to be here for my son, for my grandson's generation. HBCUs are closing at an alarming rate. Like, if you don't take your pride and start putting it with your pocketbook, they're a recession away from going away. And I'm dead the fuck serious with this shit. It's not even just buying the apparel and I mean, like, watching them on TV, making more demands. There are some cool things that are happening. But if shit doesn't change, man, the HBCU ball that I grew up with loving will not be there for my grandsons to grow up loving. And that's not cool at all. But going back to the Deion comment, though, that's the other reason. So, like, if Deion leaves, which I think he will, and I have no problem with him doing it, it completely negates and eliminates the argument that you guys have every year about why 5-star players don't come. You know why 5-star and 4-star players don't consistently come. And that's the real issue. Moving on. Again, the problems that happen in our culture are not isolated to us. Everybody has some of these things, and we talked about it, and it actually went pretty popular. The young man who, again, I don't know what happened. Somebody said on my TikTok that they were getting death threats for using the N-word. But, like, let's have the convo. And I want people in my comment section, if you feel so inclined to, let's have an educated discussion about some things. Let me see if I can find that Drink Champs clip, because I know they took. So Kanye's in the news again, mainly because Kanye was gone on a rant. A bunch of people have said that they're not going to have him on there. He was on Drink Champs, which Drink Champs is on a variety of different platforms, but they are on they're part of Revolt. Now, Revolt is owned by Sean Puffy Combs. And he has some disparaging things to say about Puffy, different things like that. Kanye, here, I'm about to send this to you right now, Miles, the Jewish clip. It was pulled from Revolt TV. I believe YouTube has pulled it as well. And I don't necessarily agree, but I also understand, and I get the point that Kanye was making there. So before I get into all of that, I want to read this really good Facebook post by, I don't even know how to say her name, Tierra Mbonisi or whatever. Kanye is fascinating and embarrassing. That's why we talk about him. I 100% agree with that. He's one of a long list of people who have valid points, but is ass backwards in how he goes about accomplishing his aims. 1, the Kardashians ain't just keeping his children away from him for no reason. This is a maniac and an antagonist. You see how I just bleeped myself? Kim and all the Kardashians have terrible choices in men. That's no secret, but no one is paying attention to his tears after he paraded an ivory plastic queen in front of us for many years. You made your bed, as your mama say, lay in it. And at this point, Kanye really do look like a dangerous baby daddy. Kanye does, though, have really valid points about with his children not being able to see why he doesn't want his children around Pete Davidson. You could date who you want to date, and I believe that, but I also believe if you had 50-50 partnership in creating that child, you should have to, if you're going to be if you're going to come in as a stepdaddy role, then you need to step up and be a man and deal with the dad within reason. But everybody and their mama knew what the Pete Davidson thing was. It wasn't about she just wanted to get her rocks off. That's all it was. So we knew about that. So I can see why Kanye played that role a little bit. Number 2, white people do control too much of hip hop and media. Some Jews who are also white or passing for white will stop your bag if you run your mouth about their people. I be mad about that, but I also respect it. Kanye just has a bag big enough that he'll persevere financially. Refer to the comments about this matter. There are some historians down there. Kanye is a hardcore Christian who also believes he is a black Jew. And when he mixes his extreme religious views with his valid points about the industry or world, he sounds like he's crazy. Very true. I don't know if a lot of you Christians have actually heard yourselves talk about some things, but I like to pick fun of one of the things. You guys literally believe that a virgin was made pregnant by God, and that's the whole premise of Christianity. When you really kind of just write that down and you look at, would you believe that if it ever happened? You sound crazy sometimes. But nobody's knocking you, but Kanye definitely with some of the things. And we're going to go listen to what he said, and we're going to kind of go back, and then we're going to have an open and honest, candid conversation. 3, the richest black American man in the world is a maniac, is a manic bipolar narcissist genius who does not consistently take his meds. Literally, the most interesting public pop culture villain is a black man. The best villains have amazing creation stories and have moments that make us wonder if they really are the villain after all. It's quite a movie. It was quite a movie. When we go back and you watch The Joker, or actually, if you went back and you watched, was it Yeezus? The third part sucks. The first 2 parts really get you to where, like, it's Kanye truly can have a villain backstory. Almost, what does this mean for people who aren't comic book nerds like me? Every person starts off as a pretty good kid. Something happens to them where they get like, sometimes it's frivolous, sometimes it's bigger than that. But something happened that changed them. When you think about how bullheaded Kanye is, think about how bullheaded Kanye had to be to get to this point. Literally, everybody told him that he could not do it. They've been telling him that he's crazy his entire life. And you know what he's consistently done? He's proven them all wrong. So if I've been right in theory for every critical juncture of my life that you guys have always told me I'm wrong in, I stopped believing what you tell me. And I started doing it. They told him that he'd fail in fashion. They told him he'd fail as a rapper. They told him that he'd fail in a bunch of different things. Hell, we're talking about how crazy he is. Have you seen his Jesus Walks video? Do you remember this stuff? Kanye been crazy. You just let him get away with it because you liked him. I have a friend who always says, it's always cool as long as you like the person. It's amazing what you'll accept as long as you like the person. This man went on a Hurricane Katrina telethon, and nobody even asked him about anything. He said George W. Bush does not care about black people. And everybody agreed with him, but nobody wanted to talk about how crazy that statement was in that manner. He just has he's been had no coup. He's been said the first thing that's on his mind. So how is this or any other time any crazy? But let's talk about the Jewish people comment. If you can go ahead and push play on that, Miles.
We made the White Lives Matter tees, and then when I put up the tweet, the DEF CON tweet, now he ain't releasing the tee because he's Jewish. And I'm like, see, this is my exact point that I'm making. Like, Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt, or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish basketball team, or doing a movie on a Jewish platform like Disney. And we understand, it's like, I respect what the Jewish people have done and how they brought their people together. You know, they came into money through the lawyers when after Wall Street, when all of the like the Catholics, they wouldn't divorce people. Right. So the Jewish lawyers came and they were willing to divorce people. That's when they first came into their money. So like, say with me and Jay, with our culture, with the with the darker Jews. First of all, because you got
That happens when anybody starts talking deep.
Okay.
The key. Oh, that wasn't even the that wasn't even the clip that I wanted. Dadgum. Yeah, that wasn't even the clip. Hold on, let's see. Check the email that I just sent you. See if that was it. But but again, like even in that, like that was the email. That was the email that I sent you. Damn, that wasn't the one I want. Anyways, I got to try to find it. But basically, what Kanye goes off and says is in the clip that I found from the same Drink Champs interview. If I say kill a nigga, slap a bitch over a beat, over and over again, it won't get pulled. They'll let me say that anti-black rhetoric into the world, and because they can make money off of it. But if I say I want to be rich like Jews, or I'm shrewd like a Jew, or I'm this, basically a description of a stereotype that people have painted for Jewish people, it'll get pulled. I could get canceled. I can get not seen in places. So though he goes about things in an ass backward way, he has a point. Like, there's only been one person that I think that has played a Jewish trope and still been successful, but we call him batshit crazy too. And that's Tom Cruise. And that was what he did in Tropic Thunder. And the entire movie was one big stereotype of racism. And that's what made it so beautiful, is that it was so over the top. I guess in all of this, it's not about saying a word. Like, we know the word, there is a word that's truly hurtful that you should never say about Jewish people. But when it comes down to stereotypes, and it comes down and I think Dave Chappelle talked about this in one of his specials when it came to the LGBTQ community. Like, if you want to be equal or included, then you should be open to the same criticisms that everybody is out. You're literally being treated. The ultimate form of equality is being treated the same way as everybody else gets treated. I mean, everybody talks about like white people in a certain manner. It's a lot of it's not true. Some of it's funny, but some of the best seasoned food I've ever eaten was from my son's godfather seasons and his godmom seasons food like a motherfucker. Matter of fact, Trey's first taste of seasonings came from his godmother Becky. But Kanye has points, but I also think what he's done, though, is put himself in a corner, which might be genius. He's put himself in such a place to where if you do try to do something to him, all you're doing is proving him right. And at the same time, he's saying, what are you going to do about it? Because again, I have a theory that there is no such thing as cancel culture. Tim Allen is again, and so when when black people say this is why we can't have things, blah blah blah. Tim Allen is a great example of why there's no cancel. Tim Allen sold weed. Sold cocaine, sold hard, went to jail, and then became a comedian and became beloved. With Tim the Toolman Taylor, if I remember correctly, Home Improvement became one of our favorite shows. I believe it was on TGIF, right? I think it was on Fox for a little bit too. But nah, he had the new one that was on Fox, which was basically the same goddamn show, just older. And it got canceled because it wasn't doing very well. But conservative people came and got woke, took the woke blueprint to get it put back on the air. And then that made me go watch it. And what made me watch it was that basically Tim was playing a stereotypical conservative grandfather. which I thought was funny. And even though they were pro weed, they were pro a lot of things that conservative people typically aren't, it was still a wild thing. But I just want people to realize that Kanye isn't 100% wrong. He ain't right, but he ain't wrong either. And it's a better way to go about doing it. Hold on. Oh, that's cool. But it's just, I don't know what you guys want, but when I look at what he wants to do with his business, one of the most successful brands with Ye, and wants to give it to African American companies. When I look at what he wants to do with the music industry, which is very similar to what Jay-Z did with Tidal, not as successful. I think he's crazy like a fox. But again, doesn't make it the right way to go about it, but at the same time, I don't really care enough. So like when I see another Kanye thing, and I see another Candace Owens thing, and I see another Jason Fatlock thing, and I see all these things, I'm just like, that's just them doing what they do in the news again.
Yeah.
And it's all good. One of the things, and this would be kind of my, I guess, kind of my hate o'clock. I really believe that this should be law right now. And Hate O'Clock is brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. You should not use any of these things for Green Acre Sporting Goods, but if you love sport and you love outdoors, you should go check them out because it's like the 20,000 square feet of heaven. They've got bullets, they've got guns, they've got arrows, they've got fishing equipment, they've got coolers, they've got safes, they've got all the things that you need to live your greatest outdoor life. You can come get those things at Green Acre Sporting Goods, located off of Normandy Boulevard. If you go in there, you tell them Big Game James sent you, then it's gonna be dope. I think they'll give you $100 off of certain guns. I would appreciate it because again, it lets them know that you're listening to the show. But they're also gonna have some all kinds of things. I'm thinking about going in there and checking them out for Black Friday and seeing what we got going on because that's gonna be my I think last year they raffled an AR-12 if I remember correctly. So you gotta go check them out. Got to be in Florida to be able to purchase or in a state that has reciprocity, I guess is what it's called. But I've heard about this. This has been going on for quite some time. The small Peruvian town of Santo Tomas celebrates, I don't even know how to say this word, Takanaki every December 25th. So it's like Christmas. Men, women, and children settle grudges with fistfights. Then everyone goes drinking together, ready to start the new year with a clean slate. It is a great way to show, like, hey, I could get into it with you, into a disagreement with you, and then we can go, we settle our differences, then we go have a beer. I think, and somebody in the comments says, I cannot fathom how physical expression of anger against the body of another person resolves anything. Well, let me tell you what this results. If you knew that there were consequences to what you say or do that weren't just like, oh, I'm going to go get locked up, but it was something more intimate, it would prevent you from doing a lot of different things. Like if you knew if I go out here and I cross this person on Twitter, and I knew we were going to have to stand in the square on December 25th at noon after I open my kids' gifts up, then I'm going to have to be held accountable for my words that could potentially, and I don't know who's going to call me out or who won't. You would chill. You would be kinder. You would be nicer. The problem is a lot of people have gotten very, very comfortable with flexing their strongest muscles, which are the ones that work their thumbs. And there's no accountability. You say what you want to say to the craziest of crazies, and you know you're protected by the internet, or you're protected by proximity. But if you knew that you could get, if the entire United States had this deal, and that you could get down, I would like to put some parameters in there. You can only get called to one. Like, you can't get like 50 people lined up ready to fight you. That's not fair. But you can accept the one. But if you knew you were going to get a certified letter that stated that, you needed to be such and such place at such and such time. You know what? I would actually make it for celebrities, and we would televise it. So like imagine like when 4-5 ran, right? And he was roasting everybody. Presidential status has gone away. It's kind of like in Black Panther when you had to fight for the throne. They had to take the herb out of your system so you didn't have the spirit of the Black Panther. The heart-shaped herb, like that's kind of like you don't have your special forces. You don't have any of them people. You got to show me a fair one for talking about my wife. That's what I would be if I was Ted Cruz. It's like you'd be surprised at how the world would change and how the world would operate if you knew you had consequences. Like, and if we had true equality, like you knew I don't want to go there because that wouldn't be fair. Because there's a lot of bitches like DJ Academics that would probably go out here and fight nothing but women. And I don't think that's right either. Can I stress this enough? Like y'all give fuckboys platforms. Like, we got DJ Academics on TV still. And damn, I can't remember the guy's name. Again, I'm really against, like, First Amendment protects you from the government. It doesn't protect you from private shit or citizens things. So like, if you don't like YouTube, like you get cut, just make your own website. You don't like your bank bans you, like I can't think of, but the one guy really got fucked over. He was too over the top. I think that was part of his stick. White guy basically like he was like actually he's not white, he's actually mixed. And he was like Kevin Samuels, but on 10. And how he talked about men, women, and losers and stuff. Damn, it bothers me that I can't think of his name. But anyways, though, like he got banned from everything. Like everything. Like he can't use Discord, he can't use PayPal, he can't use YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like banks have banned him. Like everybody has they have literally prevented his way of making money. So like he got it paled in comparison to what Kanye got by just having Chase Bank just tell him to do something with his bread. Nah, no. And thank God he got sued. Yeah, like that's a win. Even though he ain't got if them people get $1 billion. Like, damn, it bothers me that I don't realize his name. Andrew Tate is his name. Andrew Tate. And so I don't like that, but at the same time, I kind of wish that like guys like Academics and Joe Budden's just a bitch. Joe Budden's going to get. I don't think Joe Budden's as bad as DJ Academics because Joe Budden actually has a reason to be famous. DJ Academics just proves why some people don't deserve a platform because he was nobody before it, still nobody, and now that's the only thing he has is his ability to say, I get women because I'm rich, because I have money, which honestly, God's truth. That's your fault as women, because that's what y'all say y'all want. But that's the reason you've given fuck boys a platform.
He got into the game early, and at first I was like, oh, cool. You know, it's a video gamer who's talking, hip hop and stuff. The first time he opened his mouth about women, I was like, whoa. He's like a black incel.
Mm.
He's the worst.
So, last but not least, I want to know where these teachers were at when I was coming up. And it starts from it starts with this one teacher from Ohio who by no means is she a 10. But a high school kid, this is a win. This is a win for most guys. I mean, she's not ugly. But a 31-year-old Ohio softball coach faces years in prison, which I don't believe she'll get, after she had sex with a 17-year-old student 8 times and then begged him not to report her. And it's just at a certain point, like, I mean, I get this, that's a 14-year difference. Don't get me wrong, but like at 17, do you not know what you like?
1 year away.
Like, I mean, you kind of like you couldn't have patience.
I'm gonna sound wrong for this, but I'm like, at 17, I wouldn't have snitched.
I wouldn't have snitched at all.
I don't see the game.
But like, I want people to realize this. And this is where I have a hard time defending some of the teacher shit. Since 2002 started, they don't have October yet. 269 teachers from K through 12 have been arrested on child sex crimes.
Whoa.
This year alone.
Whoa.
I want to reiterate that. That's K. K is kindergarten through 12. Honestly, I'm gonna put this out here. 9 through 12, I ain't really tripping on that too much.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, hold on. Let me put it. 11 and 12. 11 and I'm gonna go into that. 11 and 12, I'm not really tripping on that too much. But you gotta be a sick motherfucker to go through. Okay, so let me go through all of this stuff right here. So, men, I talked to my mother about something the other day. We don't protect our children equally, but we get more. Like you said it, Miles. Which one are girls? So a girl really gets the juices flowing a little bit more when it comes to this kind of stuff, because we do protect it's the same misogynistic culture that women hate is what puts pussy on a pedestal. Yeah. And rightfully so. You don't want your beautiful daughter deflowered and all these different things by some nasty ass grown man who can't get a bitch's own age. I look at it in a different light though. Like, why would you want a young chick? Like, that's the craziest thing in the world to me. Like, they don't know what they're doing yet. Like, that baffles me. Why would you even want that? Like, but conversely, it's all manipulation. But when we talk about guys, the first thing we do when we talk about guys is we congratulate. We say, yeah, that's right. The South Park had a great skit when they had one with the teachers, and everybody's like, he got molested by what? And they thought it was a guy. At first they were mad. They're like, nah, his teacher's a female. They're like, nice.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. Like, if Trey I'm not gonna lie to you. His mom's gonna snitch. I already know for a fact.
Yeah.
Mom's gonna snitch. I'm not gonna snitch. Depends. Like, you know, get some A's out of it, son. Get something. I mean, like, you know, that would just be my only thing with it. But hold on. But I just don't really get it. I don't understand. But at the same time, my brand is M, FTK. It's like man, fuck them kids. It's not man, fuck them kids. Like I'm not encouraging you to fuck children. Please don't do that. Like, that's not cool at all. But just a crazy world that we live in. But I'm gonna say this though. The more I listen to I was watching this show called the Equalizer.
Oh, why?
One, it's so bad that it's good. The new one. Queen Latifah is awful. There is nothing. So I'll say this: before I get close, my first instance to Equalizer was Denzel Washington in the movie. It's nothing. It's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same. So that was based off of the TV show that came out in the late 80s, early 90s called The Equalizer. Queen Latifah's show is based on the old TV show. Same last name, everything. Except for it was an old white man that didn't really have a lot of good moves, but he was highly connected, knew what he was doing. And so the show, they showed it on Facebook. Like, they do these condensed shows. They speed up the camera and everything so you can watch a 30-minute episode in like 15 minutes or whatever. As long as you can stay on pace with the how the voices are sped up, you're good, right? So what I mean by this is, people talk about how bad, how dangerous. Have you ever watched an early 90s, late 80s TV show or movie and they depict what high school was like? It is utter chaos. Nobody's learned. Like, just think about it. Lean on Me. Go back and watch the movie Lean on Me. As a guy who coaches in a public school, you know it. That substance, it ain't like that no more. I can promise you that. Ain't motherfuckers just ain't going around throwing pieces of papers at people. This girl literally got raped in high school.
In the movie?
On the TV show, The Equalizer. And now the guy goes back and he finds all these different things that, you know, how to get the gangs out of there. But like, it ain't like that. It's like, I looked at have you ever gone? People talk about, what about Chicago, right? Have you looked at Chicago's actual death rates? Look at 1989, 1990, late 80s, early 90s, and you'll see an exponentially higher death rate than you do right now. So you know what that means? It's not as violent as it was when some of you grew up. People talk about music. I was just listening to this old ass like blues song where the bitch talked about she's gonna suck a man's dick so good till he's shit.
Oh my.
This is in the 20s and 30s, bro.
That's
I don't think that's even like, I don't know why you would want to do that. But my point is, everybody loves Marvin Gaye. Oh, this music's so subjective. Marvin Gaye literally has a song. Don't believe me? Soon I'll Be Loving You. Pull up the lyrics and then listen to it. I want you to read the lyrics as he's harmonizing about how he wants to give head to a woman. He even names her name. Janice is her name. I want you to actually take a step back and stop looking at your life through rose-colored glasses and realize this shit been bad. It's just these kids have more. And me and my guy brother JB were talking about how we grew up. I see these parties and these dances now, and the boys actually sit on the wall and they don't do anything. All we did was fight and simulate fornication when we were at dances.
yeah.
Like, we literally had at a Delta team party, we literally had girls legs wrapped around our shoulders, holding them by the waist. I was 13, 14 years old, man. This stuff has been happening. It's just the problem is that, you know, you just aren't, and you're doing the same thing that our parents or that other people's parents did to you. You're not educating them and they're having to learn on the streets. The problem is there's a whole Google out here that can make these kids better at sitting than you were. So I say all that to say is be a parent to your children and and realize that people are gonna be these teachers is fucking. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me, man. Such a is that my dad? I just commented. Put that up there. We'll see what James Coleman. Yeah. Oh, Chandler. Okay, I'm about to say this is James. I was like, ain't but so many of them. But appreciate y'all chopping it up with me, man. We'll go in detail on sports. Florida and Florida State have a bye week. Miami is playing on the Weather Channel, I believe, at 11 o'clock. They're playing Weather on the 8s. You can only see the game at every 8-minute mark on the time clock. But you got other schools that are gonna be playing. Jags have a game. We'll break down some of these things. If I get bored enough, I will break down my son's Saturday game. And on that note, other than that, man, please support all the different things because birthday parties and Christmas is coming up. Kids are fucking expensive, man. See you guys later.